Hello, beautiful people. It is Dr. Stephanie. And I'm just going to be on here for a minute to talk to you about a topic that I think is really important, especially right now. I just want to share about choosing peace in the midst of chaos. Many of us are experiencing chaos in our lives, whether it's chaos in our personal lives, at work, in our families, in our relationships, in our society, in the world that we live in. There's lots of chaos. And choosing peace in the midst of chaos is not always easy. And sometimes it has to be done multiple times a day. It's not a natural state to have peace in the midst of chaos. It's not a natural state. It's really something that we have to choose over and over again, and sometimes multiple times a day. Now, I know this topic may sound a little bit similar to something that I talked about a few months ago, which was dealing with uncertainty and dealing with change. But there's a huge difference between dealing with uncertainty, which is a natural occurrence. We're all going to deal with uncertainty. Newness is going to come, change is going to come. And some of us have a higher aptitude for dealing with change than others of us. And so it produces anxiety. But chaos is different. Chaos is sinister. Often people are intentionally sowing chaos, or there are forces in the universe that are sowing chaos. And that's different than just the natural occurrence of change. I believe that the reason that the method of chaos is in order to weaken us, to confuse us, to divide us, and to attack our peace. So that's why it's so important for us to be able to choose peace in the midst of chaos. What's the opposite of peace anyway? The opposite of peace is war. And chaos causes us to be in a state of war, whether it's a physical war, whether it's a cyber war, whether it's a psychological war, whether it's internal or external. The opposite of peace is war. And so it's critical for us to learn how to choose peace in the midst of chaos so that we're not at war with ourselves, so that we're not at war with our families, so that we're not at war with our communities, so that we can have peace. And the reason it's so important to have peace, I'm a core energy coach. And the highest level of consciousness, the highest level of energy is the level at which you resonate in peace. So that's what I believe as human beings that we're all seeking. We are all seeking that tranquility that we can have no matter what's going on around us. That freedom from chaos, that freedom from war, that freedom from divisiveness, and that increased and heightened level of consciousness. So as we seek peace and as we choose peace, we get more energy. We have the ability to see choices and opportunities available to us, even in the midst of the chaos. So that's why it's so important for us to choose peace over and over and over, however many times it takes us to do that throughout the day. So that's the first thing. Why is it so important for us to choose peace? And the second thing is, okay, how do we do it? How do we choose peace in the midst of chaos? And it is hard. I know it's hard for me to choose peace in the midst of chaos when everything is coming at me, when all hell is breaking loose, whether it's at work, whether it's in my family, whether it's, in my community. It's hard to choose peace. But some of the things that I have learned about choosing peace is that I get to choose it, right? Even when it feels like there's chaos all around me, I can still find my own center. I can find my place of peace. And it may be different for all of us. We have to tune into where it is and when it is that we feel most at peace, and then be able to choose that at a moment's notice, no matter what's going on around us. A few things that help me is just to remember my five senses, right? If I tune into all five senses, that helps me to choose peace. So smell. What am I smelling? Sometimes that means I light a candle. Today, I lit some incense. I bought this really beautiful designer incense fragrances. And that incense really just brought me back to a place of peace. So I tap into my sense of smell. I tap into my sense of sight. What am I looking at? Have I been looking at bad news all day? Have I been doom scrolling? Have I been seeing things that are not bringing me peace, but are just showing chaos? So what am I looking at? What's in my mind's eye? And sometimes it may be a day where I'm at work and I'm seeing patients, and I really am seeing some things that disturb my peace. Today, I saw a patient and she came in with a swollen eye and a swollen face because her child's father had punched her in the eye a few days ago and likely fractured the orbit of her face. And that really disturbed my peace. Just being in that situation and knowing the situation that she was in, and she was there with her two babies, both under the age of 2.